Hey Danny, how you doing, man?
Bitch.
Every time we record one of these podcasts, I forget you're going to do that.
Yeah.
I for some reason, it just escapes my knowledge that you're going to do that.
See, I forget as well, and then I'm like, oh shit, yeah.
Oh god.
God, we are back with Rick and
We
Morty
are.
season 4, episode
We've
7.
both had a hearty breakfast of wet eggs.
Yep, definitely.
Yep.
I had some raw mushrooms, so I'm high as a kite. I don't know. No idea where I was going with that, but yeah, this episode was called Promortyus, which is a clear play on the word Prometheus.
I love the film Prometheus. It's like one of my favourite sci-fi films. I love the Alien franchise. We've never talked about it on the podcast, I don't think.
No.
But I love the Alien franchise. They're all dead good.
Well, not all of them.
Well, no, but some of them.
You know, Alien 3 is shite.
Is that the one where it's in like a monastery? Or it's like a mining platform or something? I remember, what's her name? Oh, the protagonist. She gets
Ripley.
pushed off something. Yeah, Ripley gets pushed off something.
Yeah.
Let me have a look.
Yeah.
Aliens 3. Sorry everyone, we're taking a brief cutout here
we're
to
talking
talk about aliens.
We're talking about aliens now.
Ellen Ripley's escape pod crash lands on Fiorina 161, a penal colony planet terrorized by an alien.
Yep.
She rallies the inmates into killing it, but realizes that she is carrying an alien embryo herself.
Yeah, there's a clone in it. There's a clone in it, and
Oh god, yeah, this is the.
Oh no,
Because,
wait, is that not?
Bishop? This is the one where Bishop. It reveals that Bishop is actually a man,
Yeah.
rather than Bishop's the robot was designed after Bishop the man.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I like Alien. Alien is cool.
We should. I keep saying this. We should do this. We should do that, and then never get round to it.
We don't write it down, and it never ever gets done.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. We could do that. Yeah. Well, quite possibly. Anyway.
Oh, crikey.
This episode was written by Jeff Loveness. It was directed by Brian Newton, and it is starring, of course, Justin Roiland, Spencer Grammer, Sarah Chalk, and Chris Parnell. And there's some other people in it, but
But who gives a shit about them?
yeah, fuck them.
No, thank you for all your hard work, other people.
Oh my god!
What do you...
Did you hear that? Did you hear that, Lewis? My professional silent phone didn't go off there.
You know, I don't think I've ever had this phone I have on loudspeaker. It's always been on vibrate.
Right, okay, you don't need to rub it in, Lewis. Look, we all make mistakes, okay?
I don't make mistakes, Daniel.
I thrive off of other people's mistakes.
I thrive off of nitpicking other people's mistakes live on the podcast. That's what I do. But anyway, what did you think of this episode, Cocker? Have you got an opening statement?
I do, yes. Another wacky and funny sci-fi episode with some digs and some funny concepts. More genre subversion, and I love every minute of it.
What are morals?
Fuck.
That's my opening statement.
That is amazing.
Although you're right about genuine digs at the Alien franchise.
Yeah.
Because you start to consider what is the xenomorph life cycle, and it is not at all sustaining in any way.
No, not really.
As in, a human being can have, a million... Well, maybe not a million. They can have lots of children in their life cycle. But, a xenomorph can maybe have one child after a lot of violence.
Yeah.
That
it's
seems
not
like
even...
a weird...
And it's not even the xenomorph that has the kid. It's the egg. And did the xenomorphs I can't remember ever seeing them.
It's a strange life cycle that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I can't remember ever seeing a xenomorph fart out an egg.
No, because because I always took it to be that the xenomorph queen, produces a million eggs or whatever.
Yeah,
And they all hatch a facehugger, and then the facehugger latches onto someone's face, and then it copies their genetic material or whatever, and a chest burster comes out and becomes an alien.
That's what I thought.
You know, in that original scene in Alien, John Hurt, they didn't know... They told the cast, John Hurt is going to be ill and he will like fall on the table, and you'll have all got to sort of crowd around him and say, "What's wrong? What's wrong? Just breathe, calm down," sort of thing.
Yep.
But they didn't actually tell them there was going to be a chest burster.
That's right.
So when it was like he burst out of his chest, blood everywhere and everything, they were all like, "Oh my god, what the fuck!"
Oh god!
Yeah, exactly. Which I think that's brilliant.
I think it is brilliant. It gets a better reaction.
One thing I did like about this episode, this is a CRS, so prepare yourself for this one. It's the indifference that Rick and Morty show to this society that they've essentially just destroyed overnight.
Yeah, that was one of my notes. It was fucking hell, Morty, you are far gone.
He is far gone, isn't he? It's like when they put the suits on and they just don't care about murdering dozens and dozens of these aliens as they progress through this alien city.
Yeah.
And eventually make it to this underground cave that Summer is the empress of the aliens, which is just ridiculous.
And all they talk about is how their wrist hurts. That's all they can say to it.
Yeah.
Ah, my wrist hurts, Rick.
Yeah,
It'll be guns next time, or whatever it is.
Oh god, and what's that line about? They're just constantly waxing about little tiny problems in their lives, like, oh my god, am I not taking enough Adderall, or am I taking too much Adderall? I got no idea. And it's like lots of things about like, just things that are just not relevant to the, like I've got a note here. Couldn't they just not commit war crimes? Is that not an option? It's like, yeah, we really had to do this today. We really had to chill out and kill a load of people at this planet, and it's good to get it off my chest, sort of thing. It's like, well, couldn't you just not?
Yeah, I think it's like it's you can see that they know that they're probably doing something wrong, but it's like, yeah, can we just have guilt-free genocide, please? Just let's just do it. Let's just relax but it brings up an interesting point, like in Star Wars, like the heroes kill millions of stormtroopers like all the time, and then I was thinking, wait a minute, yep, and the Avengers as well. The Avengers kill all of Thanos's faceless CGI army. What do they think about it? Are they just bred to be bad? Is that how that works? I mean, that's pretty lazy. I
mean, you are completely right. It is lazy storytelling to not include that, but I feel then the Ben Wyatt in me feels the need to tell you, no, actually, it's, I think the Thanos' army thing, they're called Outriders in the comics, and they're like cloned by Thanos and like grown in vats to like essentially just to die under his whims. So
wow,
guilt-free Avengers movie. That's how that works, right?
Fuck. But you know what I mean?
Laugh, though, in that same vein, I do completely understand what you mean. It's like guilt-free genocide. Do they actually give a shit? And after Man of Steel, when everybody was like, "Oh my god, did Superman just kill like all of the population of this city?"
Yeah.
Now in every single DC or Marvel film, they have to say, "Okay, we've evacuated the downtown area. Now we're gonna do." Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It's like, they have to say it now because otherwise it just doesn't. Otherwise, you're thinking, well, did they just kill 1,000 people and now they're just gonna go home?
Exactly, but they could have made it interesting with Batman v Superman because they had Ben Affleck sort of in the midst, just staring at Superman angrily, and it's like, oh, look what you've done, but fucking hell, did Superman get charged for the damage of that city? Was an invoice sent to him?
Superman, I'm afraid you committed billions of dollars worth of infrastructure damage here.
Yeah,
you're going to need to pay this off at £100 a day for about 5,000 years. Is that okay?
Fuck's sake. Oh God. Well, I know that they don't care about entire civilizations, but at least they care enough about Summer to actually go back and get her, rather than just go into another reality and just nicking
get
a Summer.
Different Summer.
Yeah, or cloning her, or doing something that would probably be easier. But they actually went back and just got her, which was maybe the relationship with the family is becoming more prevalent rather than other people. So it's like maybe they care about each other in some way, but they just don't care about anyone else.
Yeah, I suppose once they're sort of becoming Rick in this, like, we're becoming desensitized as time goes on.
Yeah.
We are just desensitized to everything. Also, I've got a bit of a technical question about the post-credits thing, where Tammy is like, Beth, I want to fuck your dad. But, like, The graves were still there in the garden. Jerry was tending to the bees, and we saw the Rick and Morty graves behind him.
Yep.
So, has nobody noticed those? Has nobody gone out and thought, that's weird? Why are there two graves here?
Yeah, you'd think that you'd be able to smell the bodies as well.
I have no idea if that's the case, but yeah. But you think you'd at least be able to tell something.
Yeah, but even without the graves, like, bodies decompose and like they stink. Like when they decompose, so it's like, has no one ever smelt that ever?
Is nobody even aware this is a thing that's happened in their house?
Yeah.
Do the bees? Surely you'd think the bees would have some knowledge of it.
Yeah, you would think.
Because bees are like super fine-tuned little robots, basically. You'd think they'd at least be aware there's a dead body in the ground.
Yeah. See, when I was watching it, and it got to the part where they're all sitting together at dinner, I was like, oh yeah, Jerry! Jerry's in this! Oh yeah, he's the dad, isn't he?
God.
Oh, fucking hell.
Poor Chris Parnell.
I know, I mean, Jerry's a fucking dick, and I hate him, but
yeah.
Chris Parnell, he's a good egg.
I would imagine he is a good egg.
Yeah.
You watch, this is going to come back to haunt us in like 10 years or something.
Yeah, he's gonna assault us. We're gonna have a street brawl.
Anyway, I have a technical question about the episode.
Go on.
The Glorzos, are they the face huggers?
Well, it certainly seems that way, doesn't it?
Well, I because at the start of the episode, when they were saying like glory to Glorzo, I thought Glorzo was the specific face hugger that was on Morty's face. Or is it all of them? Are they all just Glorzos?
Well,
is that...
Well, they called Summer God when the toothpick wouldn't let
oh God.
them attack. So maybe Glorzo is...
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
Maybe Glorzo is the one creature that can sort of remove all face huggers from themselves. And the Rick and Morty versions are just like, God. It's like, no. She has a toothpick in her mouth. Just take the toothpick out and then assimilate her. No, it's God.
That does raise another ridiculous point about Alien. It's like, if you just had a more intense space helmet on, you'd be fine, right?
Yeah.
If you had a space helmet made of like some future Star Trek, whatever the hull of the Enterprise is made from, do you know what I mean? Then you'd be completely fine, right?
Yeah, but I think the point was that they didn't actually know what they were going to find, and I'm sure that if they knew that we were going to get a face hugger, they probably would have put on something a bit more what do you call it, protective.
Yeah, that's true. It does make me laugh though how you have those episodes where it's like, where it's convenient for the plot for Rick to have a force field or bulletproof skin or something ridiculous, and then there's episodes like this where he just gets face hugged. It's like, yep, okay.
It's almost as if like he forgets that he has all this shit, and sometimes he just goes, oh, because he's just. It's like it's hard to explain. Do you think that the writers, like, they can just sort of just say, yeah, well, wouldn't Rick have all this shit? And then they just say, oh, well, he forgot. Like,
Yeah.
do you think they can just...
So, I remember talking to someone about Doctor Who years and years ago, and they said, regeneration is the best thing they ever... regeneration is the best thing they ever came up with in fiction. Because if there's ever a continuity issue, you can just say, oh yeah, he regenerated. And what, like, just his hair from a left parting to a right parting? Yeah, just his hair. His hair regenerated. Sorry, guys. Do you know what I mean? It's a trapdoor to get you out of any awkward press conference questions.
Yeah, and
Rick just forgot.
And the sonic screwdriver. It's like, right, okay,
crikey, yeah.
we're trapped in a room. How do we get out? How do we get out? How do we get out? Oh, I have this sonic thing. Beep, beep, beep. And then the door opens. But it's made in wood. I thought that it didn't work on wood. Oh, fuck you. No one's going to notice that.
I downloaded an app, now it works on wood. Or it's something trite and meaningless like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of a dig at the EU. Oh yeah, now we're out of the EU, it works perfectly.
Yeah.
Okay, yep.
Fucking hell.
I have a bit of a question.
Go on.
So Summer is responsible for their entire society.
Yeah.
Would they have ever done this without Summer? would there ever be a facehugger that does not feel the urge to shit an egg?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
I think that their sort of Glorzo is the sort of equivalent to many of our world's gods. But they're probably more single-minded. I mean, there's not much sort of... there's no real consensus on Earth about what's really going on. And because there's not much, evidence either way. So it's just people disagree. But in this world, it's probably the same, but Glorzo is the only one that really managed to stick around, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
It's like, because now that I think about it, it is exactly the same. It's like they're just waiting for a creature that doesn't conform to their biology in the same way that we are. We're waiting for a man who can, or a certain group of people are waiting for a man to come back after 2,000 years and can do anything and can be resurrected. So I think it's the parallels are very, very similar. But,
sure.
Which makes it more interesting and makes you think that Jesus, Rick and Morty killed an entire civilization, not just of mindless facehugger aliens, but an actual incredibly developed society like our own, and they just did it because they wanted some guilt-free murder. So,
which is ridiculous, because what you forget is that all of the people that were being face-hugged were still alive.
Yeah.
So
not a way to get
like a dozen gearheads and a dozen flip-flops and whatever. Do you know what I mean? They killed loads of different people.
This is what we get for evolving.
Oh my god.
I have a technical sort of statement about the episode. This is, I think, one of the first non-linear episodes of the show, where they don't.
I think you might be right.
Where they don't tell the story in order, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, anthology episodes sort of a way there, but no, you are completely right. Yeah. It's like I enjoy a non-linear story. Like I enjoyed how Deadpool was sort of fairly non-linear. That was quite good.
Yep. I agree. What was the purpose or message of this episode in your mind?
I think it was just to demonstrate how Summer and Morty are just becoming miniature Ricks. They're almost completely desensitized now.
Yeah. I agree.
I've got a bit of a question.
Go on.
This only just occurred to me. Do you think Rick will ever die? I don't mean necessarily due to some kind of battle in Rick and Morty history or whatever, but of like old age. Will he ever get to like 1,000 years old and then just die?
I mean, Bart has been 12 for like 24 years. So I think they'll probably reference that meta-wise, but they'll just say, "Fuck you, we'll stop when we'll stop," or something, or something like that.
Yeah. I did enjoy the that line about the podcast. Everyone pretend podcasting isn't boring. Let's just listen to whatever Summer's podcast is about.
That was the dig that I was talking about, and I wrote, "Podcasts are not boring, you dickheads." Well, I mean, every other one is, but ours isn't. God, nothing is sacred to those pricks. I thought, oh well, at least they haven't said anything about fucking podcasting, and then it's like, podcasts are boring. Fuck off.
That's what gets me about like old school. What am I talking about? Like old school episodes of Family Guy when they were running on Fox, and they just constantly reference how shit Fox is.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why is Fox allowing this? Why is this okay?
I mean, they have a history of sort of Fox TV shows just sort of ripping the piss out of them, which is good, I guess. It's pretty, it's pretty funny, pretty big of them to sort of continue going with that. I remember seeing Family Guy where like the only way that we're not getting cancelled is if and he lists off like a bunch of TV. No. What was it?
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he says they have to free up some space for us. So if and he lists like a bunch of like shows that get cancelled like on Fox, like Firefly and stuff like that, and he's like, but they shows are gonna be on for years, so there's no fucking point, is there? And then they all get cancelled. Fuck.
I've got a question about the ship.
Go on.
Was it always able to do that? When it like turned that gunner port upside down, and then all of a sudden it had these infinite guns on the bottom, and it like leaped into warp speed and destroyed a building? And
do you know when I think that became a reality?
Mm-hmm.
When the writers just thought of it, they were just like, okay, they've talked about Star Wars. Let's just hit it on the head and just do the sort of Millennium Falcon gun turret thing. Yeah. Who cares if it, it's like the writers are in such a unique position where they don't have to do, they don't even have to think about continuity really, because they have a million billion infinite universes to choose from when it comes to Rick and Morty. This might not even be the Rick and Morty that we know.
Yeah, it could, because there's like an infinite number of realities.
Yep.
This could be any. It could. We could not follow one singular Rick and Morty through the entire series. It could be a different group every episode.
I agree.
Which I hate. I don't like that, but I'm aware that it's the case.
Yeah, but it's just like, get over it. What you gonna do? You write the show then. God. So where is it you think they're going? How do you?
I have no idea. I think they're just dehumanizing Morty as time goes on. That's the only sort of character arc I keep sort of seeing is Morty's conscience shrinks. Morty becomes more aggressive and more horrible. That's the only thing I keep seeing. So that's where I presume they're going. Yeah.
How do you think they'll wrap up the season?
I have no idea, because if Morty's becoming less conscienceable, then is he just going to commit some horrible act? But he's already done that.
Yeah.
Is he going to commit some kind of unforgivable act against his family or something bizarre like that?
Yeah,
I really, really don't know.
It's hard to know where to go from genocide. That's like that's like the Premier Leagues of bad stuff.
I mean, that's certainly one way to say it.
You know what I mean? But it is. I mean,
you're right.
It's like if
you're
gonna
worse than genocide. Yeah.
If you're gonna make a character bad, like the last thing in my list that I would do would be genocide. Like I would need to. They would need to become like a fully fledged dictator. It would need to be utterly without remorse or feeling or love. But no, Rick and Morty, because Morty, who's a child, who's been on a good few adventures, has now done it. And I mean, it's like, where do you go from there to sort of show how much worse he's getting? I mean, it's like,
it's what gets me is somehow the duality of Morty. It still sort of tracks this idea of like, yeah, he thinks nothing of committing genocide, but on the same level, he still has these moments where he's like a scared 14-year-old boy.
Yeah.
From the first episode, breaking his leg, falling off a cliff or whatever. It's like, it's weird. It's really weird that you watch it and that's not a jarring thing to see.
No.
It's bizarre.
It is just a roller coaster ride that you're just on for half an hour, and then once you're off it, you have this deep internal conversation with yourself about things that the writers are just laughing at you for. Just like, fuck you, we can do what we want.
Oh yeah. It's one thing I did think was funny in this was the tape that they used. They just like, taped the aliens to their heads. It just made me laugh. It's like such an inelegant solution.
Yeah.
It's like just taping it.
Despite like Rick being like a genius who could probably there was one episode where he said he could just make Jerry trousers in 10 seconds, and yet he just still uses duct tape for yeah. I mean, I like the fact that the two face huggers ended up having a relationship.
Yes, that was so weird. That was so weird.
That was
like
really
watching
weird.
Rick and Morty making out. It was really bizarre.
Yeah, but then they just get killed, and it's like, oh, I get the point now. It's like all these creatures that heroes kill in films. It's like maybe they weren't in an office relationship. beforehand,
Yeah.
and then they just get shot to death mercilessly, and the audience who's just on the side of the heroes go, yeah. It's like
It's yeah, you are completely right. It's I think it sort of harkens back to that interdimensional portal terminal thing.
yeah,
Saying they're robots, you can kill them, it's fine. And then it's like, I've got a family, tell my wife I love her, and he's like dying and bleeding out. And it's
Yeah.
like it's there is no conscience in this universe. It's just this enormous, indifferent, uncaring universe that Rick has presented. And no matter what you think, it's like, well, Morty's still a child. You know, he wouldn't commit do anything really bad like genocide, and then we watch him commit genocide. But it's just it tracks with his character somehow. It's bizarre.
I think it's like the writers are probably thinking, Jesus Christ, like these guys are these people who watch the show and like the show are taking this like so seriously. Like, you wouldn't watch a serialized episode of The Simpsons and Bart doing something and then think, wow, that's not in his character. It's like, which is fair enough, but they have made a point of like actually having some character development in the show. So it's like you can't really have it both ways. But then again, I suppose you can if you're in charge of what goes out, and you just say, well, we'll just do this and we can do what we want, and if you don't like it, don't watch it.
Yeah, that makes sense, I suppose. Yeah,
which is admirable in a way.
It is. It's
taking the reins of your own show. I think that's what. If season 4 has been about anything, I think that's what it's been about. It's
taking
really
the reins of your own show.
Yeah, because there's 70. Well, there's not 70 now, but by the end of the season it'll be 60 episodes that they've still got. Commission for. So I think they can afford to spend a season going, we'll give you some wacky stories, but we'll this is our show and we'll do what we want.
It's yeah. I mean, I've run out of notes now, but this show it will never stop surprising me.
No.
It will never stop being ludicrous.
Definitely not. Yeah, well, I think I'm out of notes as well.
Crikey. Well, this has been an episode of Rick and Morty. Have we got a closing statement?
Yep. Death, destruction, romance, confusion, non-linear storytelling, and facehuggers. Oh yeah, and Jerry's still in it. Amazing.
A scathing indictment of the lack of internal logic to the Alien films. Another stepping stone on the way to Morty's total loss of morals. Because it is. It's just ludicrous. And
Yeah.
oh god, the Alien films, I love them, but I do like thinking about things like this. I like thinking about the internal logic of like the Terminator films or the Alien films. And when you actually give it a second's thought, you think, hang on, that doesn't make any sense.
No.
None of that makes any kind of sense.
It's like it's only human beings that wrote it.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, that's us.
Indeed it is. Have we got to do some shilling, Cocker?
Let's do some shameless plugging.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah. I am on Instagram at O'Hiram. I'm on Facebook at Daniel K Actor. I'm on Twitter at Kerzo2000. What are you on, Lewis?
I'm on Instagram at Lewis_Brindley. I have a Twitter, LewisBrindley4, and I have a Facebook page called Lewis Brindley.
Yes. We are hosted by Podomatic. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. We have a YouTube channel. We're on Deezer. We have a PayPal donate button. We're on Patreon, and we'd like to thank our two beautiful patrons, Darius and Chloe.
And also, this week we've got another patron, Peter. Thank you very much.
Yes, Peter.
We're up to three patrons. How exciting.
3 patrons now. It's getting up there,
It is indeed. We're turning up the dial of Patreon.
And as you know, Lewis, 3 is my favourite number.
Yes, I have been paying attention when you've said that in the past.
Yep. So that's not me saying let's just leave it there. It's just saying
we should go for 300. That's the next step, isn't it?
3,000, as Tony Stark would say. Too
Yes.
soon.
We love our patrons 3,000. We love them 3,000. Yes.
Definitely. And we are also partnered with a lovely company called Number 12 Crochet Avenue. Lewis?
Number 12 Crochet Avenue is a business run by my incredible wife. She is the ultimate good egg, and she crochets to a ludicrously amazing level. It is like some kind of witchcraft, and I still don't know how she does it, even though I've watched her do it for about 1,000 hours. But anyway, she makes amazing stuff. She makes little hearts, and she makes bigger things like blankets, scarves, hats, mittens, loads of different stuff. And she is absolutely fantastic at every single bit of it. Her Instagram is at number 12 Crochet Avenue. Make sure you go and check her out. She does some absolutely amazing stuff. It's definitely worth giving her a follow. I cannot do justice to the Instagram page with just my words. You need to see it and go, oh, these are all dead pretty, these pictures. So go and check it out. She does amazing stuff at number 12 Crochet Avenue. Couldn't
agree more. Recently we've started doing our own merchandise, haven't we, Lewis?
We have indeed. Danny, I've got a question for you, my friend.
Go on.
Occasionally, do you get cold?
I do.
Well, then you might benefit from a Shouting Into the Void hoodie or jumper.
Oh!
And do you occasionally need to put clothes onto your body?
Yeah! I have that.
You might benefit from socks or t-shirts, anything that we do.
Oh my god, I have that problem all the time.
Yeah, and do you have things in your life which are blank?
Yeah, like my
you might
mind.
like to put a yeah, exactly like your mind. You might look to put a Shouting Into the Void sticker directly onto that thing.
Wow, my mind.
In that situation, yeah, directly onto your. Yeah, what you've got to do: get the sticker and then stick it directly to your brain.
Yeah,
but yeah, we've got stickers, phone cases, t-shirts, hoodies, posters, socks. Hashtag Find Eli t-shirt. We have a tote bag for when you go to the supermarket and you just can't carry things in your hands.
Yeah.
But I like the tote bag because it holds exactly 10 minutes of bullshit.
Oh.
But yeah, sweatshirt, mug, loads of stuff. Go and check it out. We are. It's through the link tree in our bios.
It certainly is.
It'll be in the show notes, description, whatever you're listening to it on, it'll be there.
Yep. Definitely. Please. Anything you can spare. Anything.
Yes, it would mean the absolute world.
Get yourself a wee t-shirt, eh?
Yeah, treat yourself. Shouting Into the Void t-shirt.
Quite right.
Treat yourself.
Well, that has been Rick and Morty.
Indeed it has.
So, Lewis, would you like to go out in the normal fashion of screaming incoherent nonsense at the mic?
Yes, I would love to.
Okay.
Thank you, Rick and Morty! 1,000 years! Buy our merch! Buy our merch! Alien facehuggers! Morty's soul is corrupted.